What up YouTube? Today we're gonna watch I made a Katana Longsword hybrid and it's kinda perfect by Screen Tested, which is a channel that I never seen before. Actually the name, it's quite familiar. I don't know why. But point being, this video appeared a few days ago on my YouTube recommended and it just looks so fucking sick. I love forging videos. It's one of the things that I watch to relax. This is woodworking. I've been really into watching woodworking videos nowadays. You know, sometimes a man have to graduate from the mommy ASMR to be able to sleep, okay? And now I watch woodworking. okay, that got personal. But yeah, let's go. 1, 2, 3, boom.
Longsword hybrid. I'm super Katana Longsword hybrid. I'm super into it. I think this is a really cool. So I'm actually probably going to keep it in this configuration.
That looks so fucking. That looks so fucking sick.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Screen Tested. Today we are back with longswords and katana.
Dude, the katana is sick, but dude, that longsword is so fucking nice. I don't know. There's something magical about a big piece of metal that you swing. And it's so fucking heavy that your body swings with it.
However, these aren't going head to head as they have in previous episodes.
I'm pretty sure depending on the katana, how you go, this longsword is just gonna crush it.
Doing is taking.
Actually, it depends. The katana can be full tank, which means the metal don't stops there. It goes like to here. Actually, I don't know. Maybe fuck.
Some of the best features of the longsword and actually applying them to the katana to create a unholy hybrid, if you will.
So we shall make an abomination today. And it's going to be an abomination so powerful that we'll be able to overthrow an entire country.
Because obviously we have done an episode comparing something like a regular longsword to a regular katana. What are the pros, what are the cons, what are the benefits, and what are the best features about each blade? And there are...
Well, the guard does protect all of your, not all, but a big part of your fucking hand, so...
There are some drawbacks with a katana, especially in this sort of matchup. And a lot of people, as a result, obviously ask the question, well, what would happen if you applied some of those positive features from the longsword to the katana? So what we're going to be doing in today's episode specifically is taking something like the Suba, which is the disc guard, which provides a very, I would say, low-level amount of hand protection, and adding a cross guard to it.
Okay.
So we'll have the benefits of the disc.
The cross guard is powerful, mainly for like designing people. Or like controlling the fight. I don't know.
With the benefits, hopefully, of the cross guard from something like
but that can work.
Additionally, we're going to be adding a pommel to the end of the katana.
Ooh, that's nice.
Change.
I like this. I like that idea. I like the pommel. I know it's mainly there to like to keep balance and to be like a weight, but it's just so fun. Like, okay, it's funny. The idea of just being able to like go to close someone, just bonk their head with the pommel of the sword, which is the little back like iron part. Just bonk. It's like bonking someone with a gun. It's like yeah. I just bonk you with a big piece of metal. That's funny.
The weight distribution and balance, and hopefully will make it feel a little bit lighter and nimbler in the hand. So those are kind of the two biggest dynamic changes that we're going to have with our Katana Longsword hybrid. So with that being said, let's actually get to the build itself, because we need to essentially...
Is he going to forge it, or he's going to like just use the fucking metal of this one and just change the guard and the little handle?
Mash all of these parts together. Let's get started. So getting started with our Katana Longsword hybrid was honestly a lot more complex than you first might think. Now, making Subas by hand from scratch is something that I've done before. I did it with this exact one here, and it turned out really well. I'm really happy with it. However,
it looks pretty fucking nice.
Work. And in this particular case, I got reached out to by Makera. They make desktop CNC machines, and they wanted to send me their new Z1. And I have been waiting pretty much all my life.
Okay, that's fucking sick.
On a CNC machine, and so I was more than happy to take a look at it. However, there is a little bit of context here I should mention, and
wait,
that is
that shit cuts metal.
While I do have a lot of experience with 3D modeling and hand machining, I've been doing those things for literally years, both in a
what's a fucking watch?
Professional type setting. You know, I've made things for manufacture, I've made you know, products, that sort of stuff. I've never done the actual CNC part, so I
Okay, I wasn't familiar with this channel's game. That's so fucking nice.
From scratch. Now, I want to make this clear. This is not sponsored by them. They didn't pay me any money, so I can say whatever I want about this machine. Now, I get some people might not want to hear about my escapades in learning a brand new kind of skill from scratch, so there'll be a time code right here if you want to jump straight to the super portion, right, when we get into the heavy modifications. Now, this is a desktop CNC. That's
I know you're paying attention, but just pay attention to this behind me. If you remove the 1 and the 2 points, it becomes 6-9. I just wanted to share this bit of information.
When we get into the heavy modifications. Now, this is a desktop CNC. That's what it's being billed as. It's around about, I think, $1,000 or something like that, which is fucking wild.
I would say it's a pretty fair price for a thing that can cut metal. Is it a lot of money? Yes, but for a machine like that, it's a pretty good deal.
And if any of you guys know anything about CNC machines, that's absolutely insane. Like, you can get 3D printers for that price. Anyway, moving on. But actually unboxing the machine and, you know, getting out all the parts, it basically...
Wait, I don't know. Am I wrong? Isn't it like a good price? Off C machine? Really? It's just like $300 to $500? I don't know, but in my mind it was just like way more expensive than this. Like in my mind it was like, oh wait, for metal. Okay, for metal, it's $5,000. Okay. Okay, that makes, because it was just, there's no way it's like $300 a machine that can cut fucking metal with lasers. It's no fucking way. Which button did you just click? Oh fuck, it just opened things that were supposed to be on them. It happens more frequently than this should. It's actually my fault because I am used to opening stuff like, instead of clicking in the buttons on my taskbar, I'm just used to like, using like keyboard shortcuts, and my things are in a different placement.
Comes ready to go. Once you get all the boxes and bits of packing out, you can basically just turn the machine on and it's good. It's ready to go.
Okay,
it comes basically set up. You just obviously got to put, you know, tools and stuff like that in it. The first issue that I actually run into was obviously getting the programs ready, because that's where the difficulty in this process actually begun for me. Because these sorts of programs, I had to download 2 of them. One is obviously to program all of the different tools, the tool paths, basically creating the code to be able to CNC something. And then the other program is actually to, you know, send it to the machine itself so the machine can, you know, get the programming essentially. Now, when it came to the actual CNC part, I decided, because I am me, of course, instead of starting off with something very, very simple, very, very easy, I decided to jump headfirst and drown. And I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a really complex, hard medallion out of aluminum. That's what I'm gonna start with. Never done this before, that's what I'm gonna start with. And it was all going pretty well until it wasn't. It's midnight. I'm going to bed. I can't fix this. It's not even close to anything. Funnily enough, even at this point where I feel like I'm at a point where I can kind of do what I want with the machine, I still don't know what this error was. Essentially, the tool wouldn't even make contact with anything, just had an error. So the first thing I tried to CNC was a failure. It didn't work. So I decided to try some other things, and that was really trying to do some engraving, right? Let's try and get some successful things under our belt before we try and obviously work our way up to the super itself. So I did some things like obviously logos on plastics and woods, and they worked reasonably well. I decided, all right, let's try and get back to the metal stuff. Let's try and do some more complex 3D CNCing, right? And the first one I did was a failure. Not because any of my tool paths were wrong or I got anything wrong, it was just I did it first thing in the morning and I woke up and I set my depth kind of wrong, and so that one ended up being a failure, of course. So then I decided to try again, this time with some different things like keychains and logos, and this was the first time that I actually got a successful program ran. Now I want to make this clear, this had nothing to do with the machine. All of these failures were my f-ups. I was making very small mistakes, setting my depths kind of just a little bit wrong, you know? And this is kind of where the first lessons I learned was, and that is, this isn't like other consumer grade, ready to go
That's so fucking nice.
products, kind of
There's something about being able to mold metal.
machines, I would say.
It's just like something so hard. Okay. It's just hard in your hands. Just like a... Anyway, there's something magic about to be able to change the shape of metal.
This one you have to be incredibly attentive. You have to understand what you're doing, understanding what the point of each different, you know, kind of tool path is.
3D, that's so
what
fucking
you're trying
sick.
to do with each tool before you're able to essentially have a success. So with this one and only successful CNC
Oh,
part,
it's using like a thing. I thought it was going to use lasers.
I decided it was time to obviously jump up to the Suba itself. This was a little bit of a learning process as well. This
Is
is
it a
all
laser? No, I don't think it is.
been a learning process.
Maybe?
Essentially, I created 3 separate tool paths and 1 contouring cut. The first tool path is obviously just the largest bit to remove as much material as possible. The second one is to try and get a lot closer to our final dimensions. And then the last one is obviously a finishing pass with a much more finer and smaller bit, right? And then the last and final cut is essentially just to cut the part out of the raw material itself. I kind of made some mistakes here as well and didn't run the final finishing pass. The reason why I didn't is because this already took way too long. This was like 20 hours, and this part should not take that long. So essentially I finished out the Suba after only 2 passes, that being the roughing pass and then one that's a little bit closer. Now it is very close to the final part. It just doesn't look as nice and as finished as I would have obviously liked it to be, but if I had ran that final pass, it would have been like 40 hours. It was insane. So I just decided, because I'm gonna have to finish this by hand anyway, we're obviously got to add the crossguard to it itself, I might as well just do it by hand and obviously move on. Now I want to make this clear, if you're really good at CNC programming, you can probably get this 99% done straight out of the machine. I can't do that, and because I'm gonna have to finish it by hand anyway, this just added an extra 5 minutes onto it. Not a really big deal. But now that we obviously have a custom Suba that has obviously, you know, my maker's mark, my logo on it, now we can actually take this over and...
Oh, that's his logo. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a sick ass design.
Like I said, I didn't get that last pass in, so I'm doing a lot of, you know, kind of, I would say, a little intricate bit just with the Dremel tool. Then I'm going to cut out the Suba from the raw stock, take it over to the belt sander and finish a lot of those edges before starting to sand it and polish it. Then what we can do is actually grab some old cross guards made out of brass, so the same material as our Suba, of course. These ones here were actually taken from the Twin Blade project.
Oh, he's going to grab already made guard. Okay.
Cut them off, obviously.
I was going to question that, like, oh, it doesn't look like that big. It doesn't have the little big ass guard.
Suba and the 2 bits of the crossguard and start heating them up with some blow torches and solder them onto it. Now, obviously, this is a prototype. This whole sword is a prototype. It's not actually made to, you know, go and fight with. At least not at this point, right?
Not yet.
It should be definitely strong enough for us to get a good idea of how this thing is going to work. At least, I hope it will. After we've got 2 arms of the crossguard attached to our Suba, we can then obviously polish it up and give it a little bit of a sand so it looks
That's so fucking sick.
Nice.
It already looks sick.
The next thing we can do is start fitting it to our blade. Now the blade that I'm going to be using for this prototype, you know, kind of concept katana, I guess, is the one that you guys have seen me use a bunch of times before. I usually use it when I'm testing something dumb. It's the same one I use for like the Darksaber project and that sort of thing. We're gonna
That's so fucking
Suba combination to it. I then CNC
It's the Darksaber from Mandalorian. But in real life.
Katana spaces, so obviously it should help us fit everything together a little bit more. Then I got this $30 handle. Like, this is not a proper katana handle. Like, it looks real, right? But it doesn't have real ray skin like this one. It doesn't have a proper cord wrap. It's just like some cheap one that I got. Because obviously I drilled a hole into the end of it to attach a pommel to it, a brass pommel. So everything matches, of course. But with that being said, all that's really left with our longsword katana hybrid, just drilling some holes through the handle into the katana itself and putting in some bamboo pins so that it obviously is, you know, one solid piece. With that being said, let's get out there and let's see how this abomination performs.
So far, I want to see the final. I want to see the final thing. It looks so fucking sick. Dude, look at this. I don't even... I think it will work pretty well, but I don't... Actually, that part here in the direction of the blade may be a problem. But because it's not as long... Is it? Is Katana... Actually, is a standard Katana longer than a longsword? Maybe Uchi Katana or something like that is bigger, but... Is a standard Katana longer than a longsword? Question mark? Period? No! No, a standard katana is typically shorter than a medieval European longsword. Katana length, a standard katana length is around 39 to 42 inches. A longsword length, European style, is overall 45 to 50. So you're telling me that a small longsword is already bigger than a big katana? Standard katana, I mean? Damn. Interesting. Ooh, there's a dude testing ooh, there's a dude testing like they're fighting each other. That's nice. We can watch that some other day.
Here is our abomination.
But yeah, that looks so fucking sick. I just want to grab like a picture of this and just give to one of my characters in like my D&D table. That would just be like, what's this? He's like tell the players he's using a weird weapon. It looks like around like this, and they would just be like, "Fuck, dude, that's so sick." And he would just like go away at some point because he's an NPC, and he would just never see a weapon as sick as this again.
A cross between a longsword and a katana.
That katana edge is completely fucked up. Look at this shit.
Then we have our pommel attached to our standard katana handle. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda like it. I don't know, on camera, this looks pretty nifty. It's very... I'm gonna use the word elegant. That's the word I'm gonna use.
Yeah, elegant.
And I think...
Damn.
I think it looks good, actually. I'm actually really surprised about this. But I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. Obviously, it's not as perfect as it should be because, you know, this is my first time learning a new skill, as it were, like I mentioned before. But overall, really, really happy with it. All right.
That looks so fucking
the
sick.
big question that everybody's got on their mind.
Okay, cut people. I mean, cut fangs. Boo tube. Is it a boo tube? What is the name of this thing? Boo noodle. Yeah, I don't have to search it. It just came up in my mind like magic. Just a boo noodle. Yes. A real noodle. Noodle. Yes.
Function like a regular.
Just give me a second, boys. I just have to do one thing. Okay. Okay, I'm back.
Katana. The answer to that is, of course, yes.
Okay, I'm back.
It's like we haven't really changed all that much. I mean, doing draw cuts, still 100% practical. It still handles like a regular katana, but the weight distribution, how does that feel? This is where it gets interesting. Let's talk about the weight distribution of regular katanas, right? Because they usually don't have, pommels, right? A counterweight to counteract the mass of the blade. They do feel, I would say, in the hand a little bit forward heavy. Now, when I say forward heavy, that doesn't mean not refined and not quick and nimble. It just means that the weight distribution is obviously around about here because they don't really have anything back here to, kind of kick it back a bit. It's just wood with some bamboo, you have your tang, and usually nothing else. When you put a pommel on it, all of a sudden, the weight distribution becomes... How do I describe this?
It looks back heavy. I don't know why.
It doesn't necessarily feel like a regular longsword. That's not how it feels. So I would say it actually feels a little bit more like... Wow, that feels good though. That does feel good. The point of balance has moved like 2 inches from the guard, 1.5 inches. I do like it. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what it feels like so that I can explain it to you guys. The truth is, it's kind of unique. Let's start with a draw cut, something that you guys know that I have done.
Ooh, that's nice.
With katanas.
Cut it. Ooh, Punudo dead.
I mean, yeah.
Punudo dead.
Feels pretty good to me.
Is it a Punudo? It looks too thick to be a Punudo. Or maybe just I'm used to like low quality Punudos.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like that. That's nice. If you're enjoying today's episode, you should consider subscribing. I would truly appreciate it. You'll get more riveting content like me in a disgusting pond water in full armor. Shit.
I like this channel. I like this dude. He has armors, he has katanas, he has long swords, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy.
Nearly slipped there.
He also has the Mandalorian saber. He's a nice dude.
Yeah. Subscribe.
Okay, you convinced me. You convinced me with the lake and the armor.
So,
do you think if like someone just like pushes in and like throws in like his back, will he be able to like get up because of the fucking armor? I think he will. His legs do look freer. So maybe, probably.
Shit, nearly slipped there. Yeah, subscribe. So here we have our obviously crossguard Suba combination, and then we have something like a regular crossguard. Now, how big is this one? Obviously it depends how long you actually just make the arms of the crossguard, right? But this one is, I would say, just a touch smaller than something like than I would like, right? This is the standard length, I would say, very stereotypical. This one is just a touch smaller because of the crossguard that I was working with to begin with, which was a little bit smaller, as you guys saw, right? But in terms of the coverage of the hand, this is the difference that we have now. Obviously, with that extra Suba protection, it means we have a lot more coverage over the front of our hands. We don't have a lot of...
The only problem is the little difference here, because this part of the Suba is smaller than this, so it can get stuck here between this fucking ridge. Can just get stuck. But that's because as he said, is a prototype.
A lot of protection.
But that's basically the only flaw. Maybe you can like make it like a little more chunkier, not just like a finger. Just make it like
down the sides of our hands, but obviously when we're using our blade to engage it, we simply just turn it and then it engages it. But this one obviously does have a lot more passive protection now, because we have obviously the sides of our hands protected, which means if for some reason, now I've never experienced this, I would have to imagine that maybe somebody has, of course, right? But I have never personally had a situation where I have not been able to engage my crossguard in time. It's literally like a fine motor movement of literally this, right? It's very easy to engage.
It does look something, I mean, it does look like something I would not be able to do properly.
I imagine that perhaps it has happened before. So having like that passive protection there
is nice.
The Suba integration, I think, is good. I have no complaints with that. Like in terms of weight, it doesn't really add too much to it. And we do have examples on European blades of something very similar to this. Perhaps not exactly the same, but rings and
oh yeah, this Zweihander, that's one of my favorite weapons. It looks so fucking nice. Look at this. Someone can't just hit you through this fucking thing, but it doesn't matter. It looks so fucking sick.
Combination on something like on my Zweihander.
Imagine like you just go to the battlefield and there's just a motherfucker speeding this on top of his head, like a fucking bokoblin speeding a fucking weapon, and he's just like creating speeding this, and everyone that goes near him just gets decapitated. Imagine this. This is the type of motherfucker you hope is in your side of the battlefield. You hope he's in your side of the war, okay?
Right? It has beautiful rings on it with
the same way you hope the motherfucker that has the fucking longsword katana to be on your side. Actually, maybe it would also be nice for him to be on the other side, because if he's dead, theoretically you can loot his body, if it's a war, of course. And it theoretically is not theft, because it's spoils of war, okay? Dude, I had a because I talk sometimes about my D&D group, and that's a very big thing that was like part of it, of the group, that we had a dwarf on the group. He's dead now. Not the player, the character is dead, sadly. Bob Ironbrick. Yeah, he dead. But point being, he was like, I will never rob someone. Thefts for people with no honor, and they just killed someone with a nice hammer, and he just like just went there and just yoink, it's mine now. And the fucking bar just, yo, you said you don't rob people. That's theft. You're just robbing it from his body. And just no. Those are spoils of war. I am the righteous new owner of this hammer. And then it became a thing with the group. Just no. We're not robbing him. Those are spoils of war, okay? Those are the spoils of the battle. It's basically that. So if the user dies, it can be mine. It can be mine. There's no user. It's on the ground. That's not a wielder. There's no wielder alive. So it's just the ground's property. And if I pick from the ground can say no. The ground is the ground.
Guard. It's very, very similar to this sort of setup. It's almost identical. The only difference is obviously with a Tsuba, it's concentric to the blade, whereas rings usually are offset. They're more like ovals that extend from the crossguard or the center of the blade, where this one obviously is in dead center of it, right? But obviously comparing these two, very, very similar, same sort of protection now, which I really, really like, because it
looks so fucking sick.
Stripes that I had with the Katana, that being obviously the Tsuba is fine enough to stop your hand slipping onto the blade, and it's fine enough as like a last defense in terms of hand protection, but obviously adding something a little bit extra like this that allows for a lot more coverage and a lot more offensive capabilities, I'm really, really happy with, because obviously crossguards can be used offensively as well, so that's awesome. I really like this, is what I'm saying.
It's a different Punudo now.
This sucker.
Ooh, Punudo. Stab it. Stab the Punudo. No? Okay.
In two hands is where that makes such a difference, because if you look at the length of a katana, right, they're actually not super long, and additionally, usually, not all the time, the handles aren't super long either. Now, adding an extra, I would say like an inch, right, inch and a half at the end here to get even further down on it does make a huge difference, because obviously you have more leverage now. Additionally, because we have that extra length and the blade is so short altogether, in two hands, this thing becomes crazy. Yeah, like I really, really dig it. I really like that.
Punudo bad. Yep. Ooh, Botos. No. Try with a living being. Preferably a person. Okay, that was a joke, YouTube. Don't demonetize this video, please. Actually, there's a big chance it already is, but okay. I have no recollection if I said some... knowing myself, I probably said some sexual stuff, so... yeah.
So the one thing that I did want to show off very quickly was the difference in quality between this Tsuba and this Tsuba here.
What the fuck? They're very different. This one looks... how can I put that? Better. It's less shiny though, but it looks more well done.
Now, one of the big things that I think I've learned with this project, right, was that this one is a three-dimensional kind of file, right? This was actually a 3D model, so it has kind of different layers to it.
Oh.
And because of that, when you're using the machine, when you're using the Makera, right, it means that it actually wants to get a whole bunch of little right angles in all of these little tiny areas. And I think this is where I was actually running into some issue, because if you look at this particular Tsuba here, right, ease of use, this was nowhere near as long as the other one. The other one took a very, very long time. I had to swap out a whole bunch of different tools. With this particular...
oh, he also has the same symbol right here. Oh yeah, he's the symbol of his channel, yeah. Forget about that.
Tsuba, right? You only needed one tool, which was the chamfer, and I only needed to do a 2D kind of path, very similar to what I was doing with like the name tags, how one of the name tags I did a 3-dimensional one for it, and it took hours. When I did another one, it took half an hour, and the quality is very similar between them. So how I approach these sorts of projects now is very, very different, and I have to decide whether or not is something worth doing it in 3D, having to change a whole bunch of tools, versus doing something like this, which is only kind of like a two-dimensional graphic, much easier, much better quality. So what do we think of our Katana Longsword Hybrid?
After he's showing the new one, the old one looks kind of sad. Even though the 3D stuff, the 3D effect that has like some like lines are higher than the others, is kind of sick. But I don't know. I think it could be thicker.
Really like this. I like this a lot more than I thought I would. I'll get into the CNC aspect just before we finish out, but let's talk a little bit about some of the dynamics here, right? We have, in my opinion, I think this is better than a standard katana. We have more hand protection in terms of the weight distribution, a little bit of a personal preference.
I'll be the one to say, he looks cooler than a normal katana. Katanas do look cooler. I'm a weeb, I can say that. I can vouch for that, but that's so fucking sick.
If we came out to here, you know, a good, 5-10 inches extra.
Even with just the pommel.
Sick, man. I'm really happy with it, and I'm really happy with this project. Now, I do want to say a big thank you to Makera, right? They're the one who sent the Z1. And obviously, like I said before, I have made Subas before by hand. They are a huge pain in the ass. Making this complex of a Suba, obviously, and it's my, my logo, my maker's mark, is incredible. Like, I'm really, really happy with this. And you guys will be seeing this machine used in upcoming projects because essentially the possibilities are endless at this point. Now, like I mentioned, there are some, interesting dynamics about, how user-friendly is it, especially for somebody who's beginning out, right? But in terms of the machine itself, it is incredible. If you guys are interested, I will leave links down below. Do I recommend it? Well, I mean, I've had no problems with it so far. I've been really, really enjoying it. And I do think, this is exciting to me. Like, this is actually something that I find exciting because now we're in a realm where we can get $1,000 CNC machines. And what that means is in the coming years, I do think that we actually might get to a point where desktop CNC work is going to literally be just as easy and as simple as using something like a 3D printer. I don't necessarily think we're there yet, especially on the software side, right? But man, we are close. And that is really exciting. Katana Longsword Hybrid, I'm super into it. I think this is a really, really cool. I'm actually probably going to keep it in this configuration going forward because I just like it so much. This thing's cool. But additionally, I'm very happy with how we actually got to this point and this particular project. I really enjoyed it. This was a fun one, and I hope you guys enjoy it also. I'm sure there'll be plenty of comments, and I can't wait to read through them because did we upgrade the Katana?
Yes.
In my opinion, yes. This thing is fucking sick. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you want to check out
it was a very good video.
Z1 machine, there'll be links down below.
Odyssey era. Ooh.
I really liked it. All right, with that.
Okay, I want to see that.
Have a good one.
That was a very good video. It was my first time watching this channel that I remember. And it was very nice. I really like the fucking Katana Longsword Hybrid. It's so fucking sick. It's hard to find something that can be secret in a Katana and secret in a Longsword at the same time. Actually, I'm still a big fan of the Longsword, but that one does look fucking sick. That was a very good video. I hope you guys liked it as well, and I see you in the next one. Oh yeah, and please, if possible, go watch the original video. Give it a like, give it a thumbs up. So check it out. It was very nice. Very good video. I want to cut things now.